All right.
So good evening, guys. How are
Hey,
you all
good
doing?
evening, Anthony. How's it going?
Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
So
Thanks
a
for
couple
having
weeks
us.
ago, the fellow sitting on the other side of the drums, I didn't have a chance to meet that night at the Wolf.
me.
No,
No,
I can
yeah,
hear-
I met you.
No, must be
I
you. You
I
guys-
don't think I met you personally. But
no, I don't think we met. But your name on the other side of Cal is you're Rick, right? Is it Rick?
No, I'm Chris.
Oh, you're Chris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm the bass player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I met
Well,
you
we-
that night briefly. You guys were getting ready to tear down the show, so
That's right.
Yeah, we were busy. It was a late night, right? It
Yeah.
was
it was a
we
late
played
night.
till 1 a.m. We were on at like midnight and played till 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met you briefly as I was loading up the drums, but yeah, it was just a quick hello.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah. But and I'm Nathan, I'm the drummer.
I'm Galen, rhythm guitar.
And lead guitar too.
Sometimes lead, yeah.
And I'm Callan. I'm lead vocals, and not with us today is Rob. He's our lead guitarist.
The other lead guitarist.
Yeah.
The other lead guitarist.
Mhm.
The main lead. Let's say.
So you're lead when it's jam night when he can't show up, is that it?
Basically,
yeah. Tonight
Good
he's
way to
lead
put
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
Or I'm just lead when I want to be. Yes.
So I'm intrigued, where did the name of the band come from? And does it have any significance to,
I think you came up with the name.
Yeah, it definitely does. The first song that I would say we polished to a point that we were all satisfied with after I had joined in December was at the time called Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
due
we
to its
called
influences.
the song Iron Maiden because
It had an Iron Maiden feel to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
just what we referred to in practice rehearsal.
right?
Oh, Iron Maiden, let's play that one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I forgot.
in the lyric writing process, I usually use a pre-existing song title as a prompt or a jumping off point, and so my lyrics were about a metaphor, a girl or a lover who is a torture device in this metaphor, so a literal Iron Maiden. And
Oh.
we didn't want to change the song too much, but we knew that we didn't want to call it Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
So we did a little digging, and I started learning about Apega of Navis, who was more than 2 millennia ago a queen and a tyrant in Sparta who would build or have commissioned these iron automatons that looked like her, deliberately resembled her, and they were torture devices, and her subjects would get crushed inside of them. So it's a very
Like an Iron Maiden.
like an Iron
Yeah.
Maiden.
Oh, okay.
Very brutal and historical piece of intrigue that we decided to take a cue from, and we liked it so much. It's got a snappy quality, a very metal quality. It's became the band name.
Yeah, well, so we had another band name. Well, me and Chris started, just me and him, we started as Terror Tech with
yeah.
another guitarist.
That's what the name was?
Yeah, Terror
I
Tech.
never knew that.
Yeah.
Way
And
before
then
us.
Terror Tech.
and then Chris came up with Davidian. He liked Davidian.
Knowing that there was probably already a million bands called
Yeah.
Davidian, and
And it was kind of after the Machine Head song. Like that was the,
Yeah.
you know,
that was the influence for it. And we have a very Machine Head kind of vibe. And
Right.
well,
we
tried.
we planned, yeah, we tried to. Anyways, we planned to at the time play that song, Davidian, like as a cover. We're
Right.
still like kind of deciding what covers we want to do and things
We
like
have about 1,000 on a list.
that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we thought
Yeah.
Apega sounded like a better name for us.
Yeah, and we like the logo idea.
We liked how it looked.
Yeah, it looks
Got a
good.
sick logo.
It's got a nice ring
Easy off
to
the
it.
tongue, you know, it's
Mhm.
easy to say. Apega.
Apega. We do get a lot of like a what? You know, and it's like Apega, you know.
It's double-edged
Spell it
sword
out,
in
but
that way. Yeah.
that's okay. We like it. And but back to the naming the songs, like so when Cal joined us, we had already at least 10 songs. And so we'd name them, and usually it was me who would name them, just put a name to it when we put a couple riffs together. And so that's how we came up with, like, say, Horizon. And I just called the song Horizon, and then he builds lyrics on top of what the name is.
Yeah, I love that song. I was just playing it before the interview here, and it's such a great song.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we love that one for sure.
It's fun to play really fast.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys played it the night at the Wolf, right?
Yeah.
I think that's when I really, because the majority of the night, because they were already at capacity by the time I got there, but majority of the night I was out in the parking lot until Vessel was done, and then I think there was just a lot of support for Vessel, and then the place kind of cleared out. So Doug was like, "Okay, so many people can come in now," and I was like, "Cool, I'm in there." And
Yeah, Vessel was a
so I
really
got
cool
to see
band.
you guys. So
yeah, that's good you got to see us for
Yeah.
sure. And it was good because I had friends waiting outside too, but they were at capacity, and Vessel had a big following too, right? Like they're a wicked band, and we talked with them. We want to play another show with them for sure too. It's just an all around good night. Ground Loop too. Like we've been discussing, the singer for Ground Loop was our previous singer before we got Cal.
right.
And just we love the guy, and creative differences moved us into different directions, and we loved playing with Ground Loop. They sounded wicked that night too, and so yeah, it was a really good night, sure.
Yeah, I didn't
That
get
was
there until Vessel was hitting the stage. I just missed Ground Loop for the band and the band before that.
Consistently good stuff. We're glad that you got in when you did, and we had the opportunity to talk with you, most of us, and especially glad that you like what we're doing enough to sit down with us and talk to us.
Oh yeah, I'm all supporting local. Like that night I was wearing an Iron Kingdom shirt. Tonight I'm wearing my Saints of Death shirt. And
Cool.
they're local Vancouver band too. Twan's like a 6 foot tall dude, and he's the lead singer. Kind of got a Gene Simmons thing going on.
Cool.
Good.
Never a bad thing.
No, yeah. Well, we're just excited to play. Like we just want to play more shows. We just formed over COVID. We've been practicing a lot, and like we're ready for shows, and we're working on new material, and like we just want to play more because we didn't get to throughout COVID.
Yeah, it's been a long wait.
Well, yeah.
It's been a long wait, and so I'm excited, and I'm like we're excited just to go see shows too. Like we went and saw the Judges last weekend too, and
It's nice to go see a show.
yeah, it's nice to go to
really is.
shows. Live music's like the only way, you can only listen so much through headphones or
It's the best way to hear a band.
yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, because you get that you get the vibe from the band, and the band gets the vibe back from you, because you guys have been rehearsing for so long. Like all the bands I've been talking to, like like everybody's just cooped up, and it's like, damn, I want to get back on stage, because it's just not, there's that connection that you're missing with the people.
Yeah.
People can't really appreciate your music, or now that shows are back for now anyway. I mean they announced yesterday we're going to have the passports to go to shows, and I don't know if everything's going to kind of slowly shut down again, or
Oh yeah, we don't know,
it's
right?
really
We're just practicing as if it's
still a go.
still a go.
Yeah.
We're just still gonna keep working on our stuff, and like we're just waiting for that next show for sure. But we definitely realize that it might take some time, but we're just gonna use whatever opportunity, and that's what happened through COVID so far. We just used the opportunity to practice a lot. We've been practicing a bunch and getting tighter and tighter. And I think the show, like, we had some nerves coming in and stuff, but we're all really happy with our performances. We thought we did well, and, and just take it to the next one kind of thing. Just keep moving forward. We're getting better every practice, and just looking forward to doing more for sure.
Yeah, because I was talking to some of the staff at the Wolf that night, and they said they definitely have you guys and Vessel back for sure.
We'd
They
be
said
happy
that
to go
you
back.
guys
Yeah,
were-
it's a
Anytime.
blast.
Yeah, I love playing at the Wolf.
Yeah.
So I think
It'd be nice if they had to, like a capacity of like the Commodore or something, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be wonderful if it was a bigger place, but I mean, something about the vibe there. I've always liked.
Yeah. And it sounds good. Like I
it
think the
does,
sound
considering the
there.
closeness of the space. Yeah. I always joke with people, if you get 30 people in there, it's crowded, which is kind of true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sort of.
Totally true.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would have liked to see it completely packed full of people, but
Yeah, or at least in the front of
Unfortunately,
stage.
I guess
Yeah,
they
but
had to
even
cut
still, it was like, as busy as you could get, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, you had to wait in the line. Like,
Yeah.
it was super busy, for, considering COVID, but for sure, we'd like it to be, completely full ear to ear kind of thing, but it's not going to be like that for a little while anyways. So
No.
It'll happen when it happens, though.
but like you're saying, like you totally get the vibe off the crowd. So we like playing with more people because you get that energy off them too, right? And it's just so much more fun that way, right? To play in front of the audience and to enjoy that energy back and forth kind of
Yeah. How hard is it for you guys to play your whole show with those masks on though? Like that's gotta be different. I know you were drenching in sweat when you took your mask off at the end.
Yeah.
You're just like covered in sweat. Like you're gonna
thing.
try.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
no,
yeah,
really, yeah.
Oh, I'm covered in
Change
sweat
your-
after the first two songs. Like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, right. Like, it's super fast paced and heavy,
Yeah.
and it's relentless in a sense. We just keep pushing, and that's what we love about it. But it definitely is tiring, and
Sure.
yeah,
Well, that was our first show, and I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. So I mean, while we were playing, I didn't even think about the fact of how hot I was or wearing the mask.
Exactly.
I forgot that I was wearing a mask.
the only part I really felt like it affected me was when I have the one backup vocal in Horizon. It's
Right.
gaining again. Like I yell that out really loud, but through the mask, it really
Oh, yeah, you're not
doesn't
gonna
come
hear it.
through, unfortunately. But otherwise, I still felt like I could breathe fine, and
I
we could
couldn't
see each
breathe.
other.
I couldn't
Oh, you couldn't
breathe. I couldn't see much, but I mean, it is what it is. It's fun to play with the mask. There is a certain like sense of self you forget about. And
Yeah.
It's easier to deal with the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're
Not
a
a
little
persona
nervous,
kind of
maybe,
thing.
but I need a better mask.
Well, and we're like we have different masks too. We're not planning on being just like a single character. in a sense.
Well,
Right.
we're honestly like there's lots of bands that wear masks, but
Yeah, it's nothing.
obviously, well, you want to be Slipknot, but we don't want to be Slipknot. So
Or mushroom head.
it's just fun to wear masks and dress up.
Yeah, it's fun to have a lore, a little bit of background.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
and
it
anything
gives
to
you
make
gives
the
you
show
kind of that. It kind of gives you that incognito, right? When you're
Yeah,
off stage,
and
when you're off stage,
kind of
people
the
don't
mystery
really
vibe,
know who
right?
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who are they, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I think it just adds to the performance in a sense. Then you're not focusing either on, the people. Really, you're focusing more on the music,
Exactly.
and we're still putting a lot of energy into what we do, and we're moving around. We're grooving to the music, right? But it's not about us, right? It's about the sound for us, for sure. Like we want to just sound as good as we can, and we keep practicing for that reason, right? It's about the music. So
Well, and that's what I got. That's what I got from the show when I was there. It's just like, wow, these guys have a kind of different sound, and like they're just putting their all. And Cal, you were hitting those high notes, and it was just a great show that night, you guys. I was really impressed. I mean, here we are sitting. I'm talking to you guys, so I think you guys did a hell of a show for your first time out.
oh yeah, thanks.
Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
We appreciate that
yeah, and yeah, we
because obviously,
enjoyed it.
I
big
mean,
time.
I was saying earlier, like I fully expected that show it could have been a huge flop, and so
Well, we could have played better in a sense, but it is our first show. We're gonna get better and better. Next show, I'm sure, will be even tighter.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's just
That's half the fun is
Yeah.
dreaming up how to everything that went well, how to make it even better next time.
Mhm.
Finding your own weaknesses through trial and error or trial by fire.
but it felt good how well it went over.
it did, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, just after 2 years of not playing any gigs, it's fun just to be there, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
playing
Well,
anything
that's
is
it.
good.
That's it in itself, right? Like so many people doing live streams and talking to a lot of
Yeah.
people. And it's just like, it's just not the same because you don't get that response from the crowd, right? It's not in, you're not in their face and they're not in yours, like you can't get that feedback, instant feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And just
Mhm.
sheer volume as well. I mean, when it's loud, it hits different.
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so
Feel
much
it
fun
different.
when you're
Yeah.
playing in front of a crowd. It's the best feeling for
Mhm.
sure.
Because I was by the pillar because I couldn't see the other two. I couldn't see two of the other members. So I actually had to go on the other side of the pillar that's right by the stage so I could see the other members because it's just like it was so tight in there in that area.
Mhm.
There was a lot of people that were right near the stage and there were some people that were dancing.
Mhm.
Yeah, we think we're really lucky that we got to have that experience because when we were at the Wolf for the judges, they had since our show, as a result of our show, put up plexiglass and gotten new staff shirts saying something
Yeah, they
something to the effect of "Stay seated so we can stay open" because there's too many people, coming
Yeah.
up to the stage and
Oh.
listening to the music when we were there.
Mhm.
Really, they had to close it all off, eh?
Yeah, there was no dancing at
Yeah.
the judges.
it's a health issue. Just a
Well, and
health issue.
apparently that wasn't supposed to be when we played. Like,
Yeah.
it just kind of got out of hand in a sense. Like, so there wasn't supposed to be dancing or even you guys lined up like watching from the side. But it just kind of happened. We're
Yeah.
glad it did, like.
I mean, alcohol does what alcohol does, and
Good music. Too.
Yeah, and right, and just kind of letting it go. But yeah, we're glad it happened. So the idea was we were gonna wait to see what happened in September. Apparently in September, things were supposed to get more like, I was talking to Doug at the Wolf. He was
Yeah.
saying, oh, in September we should be allowed more. Like, I don't know if it was going up to 80 or 100 or something, but it was like supposed to be more. But now who knows, right? So we're gonna keep in touch. We plan on playing there again for sure. We had a good time.
But we do really want to start playing downtown. So
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
and then hit the road.
Yeah, and hit the road.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
big
that'd be fun.
dreams.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not a DJ on the station, but I'm with CE. It's Canada's Extreme Metal Radio. It's an online radio station, and we've got a event happening. It's the third annual metal show. It's going to be in Edmonton, and it's a 3-day event in March. And they're taking applications now, and we're taking applications now for bands to upload their music. And I don't know who does the final decision on it. I think it's Chris who owns the radio station.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, well, we'll
Maybe we should
probably
check
put
that
in
out.
for. Yeah, we'll check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd like to play that. Edmonton's not too far either.
no.
Yeah.
And then
No,
there's
and-
other venues you can go to in Calgary and stuff.
Well, I'd like to go all across Canada. Like that would be so much fun to just. I've always dreamed of going across anyways, and like what better way to do it than to just play gigs along the way. We've
Right.
all discussed that. Like we would all love to do something like that. So
Yeah.
we're hoping the opportunity comes. And until then, we're just gonna get better so that every time we do go play those gigs, like it's just gonna sound better and better kind of thing.
The worst critic is your own critic, especially when you're
Oh,
an
yeah.
artist. artists are the worst critics of themselves. They're the hardest on themselves. And anybody else, and everybody else will say, no, you guys couldn't have sounded better that night, that sort of thing. You guys will be kicking yourself for months going, we could have been better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I count the mistakes almost as we go. Like I could, in one sense I do, like especially for practicing, but just to remember where you need to improve and things like that. But I mean, yeah, you're always your worst critic because we've played the song a million times, right? Like so,
Because
we know it, and we should have it this way, right? And so we know that in our heads. So we push to make it that way, but
well, I mean, I think because it's just been practice, no shows. It's like it's become easy to become very critical of ourselves. So, but again, playing up our first show, it was nice that, I mean, it wasn't the same feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, like one of our songs, we kind of messed up big time. We didn't finish the song. We cut way too early in a sense, right? But we know nobody really notices, and that's okay. So next time we're gonna make sure we hit that, better next time. But you just play with it, you go with the crowd, and you don't get hung up on the mistakes like I used to do when I was a kid, right? Like playing getting hung up on the mistakes and allowing that to hurt the rest of your performance. You can't let those things get to you, right? Especially with the first performance.
Yeah, the first gig's always things go wrong and whatever, but it's the energy that matters, and we had good energy. We played good. Play better next time, and just practice.
So who made what was the signal that night that you were like, okay, we're screwing this up. Let's just end it.
I kind of did a roll, I guess, like because at the end of the song, there's a very specific drum roll that you kind of ends it, and so there was a point where that was almost feasible and it made sense, and so I just did it, and everybody kind of like snapped to like, okay, we're ending it, right?
Well, I was a bit late on it.
I think you and I were like at that spot in a sense, and Chris and Rob weren't, so, but that's okay. It's
we're good at not train wrecking. We always adjust.
No matter what, we'll get through a song, right? And all's well that ends well. So, and we really felt like our last song went really well. Like one of our tougher songs I have found.
What did we play last?
Reality
was our last song.
And it's sounding so much tighter now than it's just been a difficult song. It's got some different time signatures and pace changes, and so it's been a tough one, especially I think for me. And so, but we've worked on it really hard, and we feel like it's one of our better songs. So so we wanted to finish with that, and we did play it quite well, I think, and we all felt like we did. So all's well that ends well.
Well enough to have people looking for an encore, which was
calling an encore.
Yeah, I know, that was pretty cool. It's like, okay, like the crowd's really responding to you guys, and how'd that make you guys feel? That must have made you feel pretty good, eh?
Oh yeah,
super good.
Yeah, 1 a.m. too, right? Like 1 a.m. a lot of the times, I've gone to shows and at 1 a.m. I'm like, I don't need an encore. There's been times like that, right? So it feels so good that they wanted us to play, and we almost did. We were thinking about playing another one.
We had a couple in the hopper, and we had joked ahead of time about the potential of that happening, but it was just so unthinkable, right?
Yeah.
Didn't expect it.
So it didn't even come to fruition of what you guys would play next.
Well, we had an idea of what it would have been, but
we had some ideas, but
I was kind of ready to go. It was going to be the Sentimental, but
it wouldn't fit for the final.
It's kind of like a groovier one, because most of what we did was like fast, or especially our earliest stuff is very fast paced because it's a lot of Chris, and Chris is like on that bass just so fast, right? And and so it's like really heavy pace, right? But some of our newer stuff is a little more groovy, and so that was the song we had ready that we were gonna like we were thinking about playing it somewhere in the middle of the set.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't feel right to play it at the end. We're gonna play it, you know, next time. We've got a bunch of other songs in the vault. You know, we played
Oh yeah.
something like 45, 50 minutes, right? Like I
Yeah.
don't know exactly. It was
Better to
About an
end really
hour.
strong and keep people wanting than to.
Yeah.
And again, it's because
Make
we've just been
questionable.
cooped up and all we've been able to do is practice and
Yeah.
so-
Practice right, you know.
Well, and you were sore at the end because I think didn't some of the member go to you at the drums and you were like, no, you were
oh no.
arms and you were like,
No, I was okay. Like, especially the song that we were gonna play, I could have played for sure.
oh,
But there are certain songs that after I really like need to stretch out like a lot of muscle work for sure. But I felt fine. I could have, you know, and
could have
when
easily
we-
done that one.
when we build the set list, it's usually like, you know, everybody has a say in the set list, but it does a lot come down to me and what I can play intermits, right? Like, because I'm still working on my speed, just picking up the pace, and so it's hard work, and so I have to think about the progression of songs and how I can kind of rest from, say, a really fast arm or hand one to a really fast like double kick one, and try to work around that for sure. But I was just stretching out, you know. I wasn't sore. I was okay.
Drums are hard though.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And I put a lot of heart into it, right? Like I was trying to play the room. We didn't have the kit wasn't mic'd. We had a mic on the kick. And so, but I've played the room before, and I've seen a lot of bands play there, so I do know the room too. So, but I did have to hit a little bit extra hard, right, to
Yeah.
get to the back. So I was, you know, feeling it for sure. And the next day I rested. It felt like, you know, I used to play hockey and rugby and stuff when I was a kid, and it felt like I just played a really, you know, tough game of rugby or hockey or something, right? Felt like that the next day. And I'm not getting younger, so
No, none of us are.
But you stretch.
Well, and
so, I mean,
as far as perfection go, I follow Bard Kalstad. He's the drummer for Leprous. He does a lot of drum covers, and the thing that's unique about this guy is he actually will drop a drumstick in the middle of his little session that he's doing. Like he's playing to their own music, but he'll drop the drumstick, and instead of cutting and editing it or him going back and doing a proper one, he leaves it in the video because it's just like he screwed up, big deal. He grabs another stick and he carries on. So, you know,
Part of it.
I think that's kind of
that
cool because
happens.
I think that's kind of cool though, because a lot of professional drummers wouldn't do that. They'd go back and do it again until they got it right.
Mm.
yeah, no one's perfect. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. So, but
yeah,
That's
and
what I'm
I
getting
like
at.
that perfect stuff. I don't like the computerized like perfection, right? Like you need
Yeah.
to hear the human in it.
it's better to know how to recover quickly from a mistake than to try and be perfect all the time, right? Especially
Exactly.
live.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
thankfully I didn't drop a drumstick that night, and I didn't break one either, which was really good.
But when you usually
But if you do, yeah, it happens in practice, right? It slips
if
out
you
of the
drop
hand.
one, I usually don't even notice.
Yeah,
picking up
I
so
just-
fast, right?
Find another one, just keep the beat going with something else, right? And just keep it going.
You get a stick bag on your kit?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could show my kit for a second if you want.
Sure.
I mean,
I mean, I saw it live in person that night, but
yeah, that's
for the thousands and thousands
The-
of attendance.
I really like this cymbal, this China.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite cymbals. But otherwise, I have a pretty cheap kit. The snare's pretty good at Yamaha. But yeah, used ride and that kind of thing. And I keep sticks to my right, and usually I have one here to my left as well. But it happens. I've broken sticks in performances and dropped sticks,
Oh yeah.
that kind of thing. You just keep going.
It's incredible.
Drop
I never
picks.
dropped a guitar pick. I kept thinking I was gonna, but I didn't. Yeah.
So for the nerds out there, what do you guys play? You guys got you must have your guitars and your bass there.
Influences and stuff.
No,
What
like
are our
what are you guys,
influences?
what are you guys playing in terms of your guitars and that? You guys got
Oh,
Gear
you guys
stuff.
gear.
Oh,
Oh, gear. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Just me is just just a cheap Ibanez 5-string, nothing special, made in China, but it sounds good. And
Trainer amp.
big cab and
Big
shit.
boy cab, yeah.
Yeah. Galen's got a new.
Yeah, he's still
great
got
new
the
set
most
here.
metal
Yeah.
fucking thing you
Well,
ever seen.
hey, so I played
Sounds
a
really good,
JCM 900 at the gig, which is your typical Marshall amp. You know, it's really good. I just picked up this Randall V2, so I mean that's what I'll use next time. Both really good amps, and then guitar wise, I have a Schecter Hellraiser 7-string.
nice.
It's my baby. Does the job.
Yeah, and even just practicing with the new amp, it just sounds so much better.
Yeah, we became a better band today.
Yeah.
I just got this thing like a week
Yeah.
ago, but tone is important, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
good to invest in. But you know, but I thought my tone was pretty okay at that gig with what I had.
Well, hey, you guys got called back for an encore, so you must have sounded all right.
Yes, it did.
But yeah, influences. Anybody want to start? Anybody in the room want to start? What were your influences? Or what was your
Very mixed bag.
training?
Well, who would you say we sound most
Oh,
like?
I don't know.
Or
about
like,
that.
well,
it's tough.
speaking on myself at least, I like a lot of '90s, Machine Head, Pantera, like all that Sepultura, like old thrash doomy stuff, and combined with like some newer sort of modern elements. I like speed and thrashiness, but also putting some progressive twists in there every now and then. As we all like other types of music, we're not just metal junkies. We're all into all sorts of stuff.
I'm
but
kind of just a metal junkie.
Yeah.
That's what-
Well, we
I've
all
heard you
really
say
like
that.
the new Gojira. Like all of us really like the new Gojira
Yeah.
kind of thing,
It's
right?
hard not
the
to.
big ones, yeah.
And so like those those bands influence us too. I like a lot of
Well, a
proggy
band like
stuff.
Gojira, like that's like I want to be a band. I want us to be as good a band as them. That's how I look at that.
Professionally, you
Like
mean?
yeah, like they're just so fucking good.
Yeah, but our vibe is almost like a mixture of that with like Iron Maiden kind of thing, like that 90s kind of thrash, just heavy, fast paced, and we like that too, right? We're kind of our own thing.
I'm really old, so
You're really old.
I,
How old are you?
I can't say. I'm under contract not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
It's his golden rule.
I'm 55, so I doubt you guys are as old as I am.
Close.
Well, when I was 16 and the 10,000 Days Tool album came out, that was a game changer for me. I was drumming at the time, like my influence was Led Zeppelin, I'd say. Me and Rob, the other guitarist in the band, we started a band together when we were 15. He was the one who pushed me to drums. And he was big into like Jimi Hendrix, and we liked the 70s at that time. So we were 15. John Bonham was who I watched and learned from. I taught myself essentially. And Rob, our other guitarist, he helped too. And his mom was a drummer. She gave me advice and things like that too. But so when I was 16, Tool really blew my mind in a sense. And I liked a lot of prog bands. Like I especially like Isis, the band. Like for me, that was a huge influence on my drumming. And Pantera, like I listened to tons of Pantera when I was 16, 17 kind of thing. I love the breakdowns. We try to get a lot of breakdowns in too. Like everybody likes a good breakdown. So, but
Yeah.
I started liking metal because of when Shout of the Devil came out with Motley Crue and Wasp. That's what made me discover metal. And then but what changed my life is when I heard Battery for the first time. And
Yeah, first
that's
time.
that's a great song.
and that so for me that's kind of just been the channel I've gone down. you know.
Fast and heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Cliff Burton, right? Like
Oh man.
he was quite the animal on the bass.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah. Well, it's Cliff Burton that made me want to be a bass player. So, you know, and Steve Harris.
Yeah.
So if I could be a quarter of the bass player of those guys.
I would say you're at
Yeah,
least
you're
a
more than
half.
a quarter.
At least a
At
half.
least half. Don't discredit yourself.
Yeah, really, because they started the same way you guys have started. You know, they started. Nobody knew who they were. Nobody knew
Yeah.
where they were gonna go. Right.
Exactly. I was just saying that to someone. There was a time, like I've just heard Metallica is now worth, like as a corporation or whatever, $1 billion.
Yeah.
And at one time they were a bunch of zitty 18-year-olds playing in their parents' garage. You know, and it's like, so it's like, holy fuck.
I was living in Kelowna when Master of Puppets came out, and my buddy loaned it to me on cassette. And again, I was blown away. I was influenced by John Bonham and Neil Peart from Rush and a bunch of other Charlie Watts, who we just lost today.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best drummer
But
ever.
then I'm like, holy shit, who's this kid on the drums? Like Lars Ulrich. Like, you know, those were some chops I hadn't heard before.
Yeah, and his early stuff, like he's so fast, you
Yeah.
know, like so.
He gets
fast.
a lot of flack, I think.
He does get a lot of flack, but because
He does get a lot of flack.
I think it's because he's kind of like the Gene Simmons of the band. He looks
Oh,
after
definitely.
the whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, looking out
Yeah.
for-
No, I mean, I think.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
was a good drummer.
Well, you
like I
can't,
said, I mean, until they started sucking, Metallica was my favorite band. So,
I saw
I mean,
them
you
on
can-
their last good album. I saw them on their And Justice for All tour, and the Cult opened for them, and it was at the P&E.
mm,
Oh, nice.
And then
Well,
they
that was a good
back
album.
home, and the rest went to hell.
Yeah, exactly.
but they're still rock gods no matter
Yeah,
what.
it would have been cool to have seen them when they were younger and in like a smaller venue.
oh,
You know, like that would have been awesome.
so
to
many
see.
bands I wish I was born early
Yeah.
to see at that stage, early
To see
career.
like Battery live, like you know, in like the Commodore or something like that would be cool. I love the Commodore. It's the perfect size
It is.
and great sound.
I just actually not too long ago on YouTube, I think, I saw a clip of Metallica doing Damage Incorporated just before the release of Master of Puppets. So it was like nobody had heard that song, and they were super young still, and holy fuck, they were good. Like oh my
Yeah.
lord. So yeah,
Yeah, but they're older now, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
They're
Yes.
slowing it down now. They're
Slowing it down. That's right.
mhm.
You can only go so fast for so long.
But I mean, they could still play like the old stuff. I mean, I saw them whenever they came here last 3 or 4 years ago, and I'd say they kicked ass. I mean, if you can still play the stuff from the
Yeah.
80s to a similar speed, that says something once you're at that age.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sepultura though, I can't leave out Sepultura as a band that
Yeah, I mentioned them as
meant
well.
meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
When I was young.
I mean, talk about fast. I mean, old Sepultura,
yeah,
it's very fast.
it's insanely fast.
Yeah, it's hard to play.
And so is old Metallica. Old Metallica's hard to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was guys next door to me, and they were a metal band. And I went down and listened to them one day, and I go, "You guys know any Metallica?" And they're like, "Oh, dude, they're too fast."
Well, I've played Battery and I've played Creeping Death live before, and you know, I was actually pretty fast as a kid too. Like
Yeah.
that was when I was about 17, and yeah, those two I only played Battery once, but we played Creeping Death a bunch. We loved playing that one. It was a fun one. We should do something like that, one of the old Metallica songs for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I can still play Master of Puppets, but I used to be able to play the whole song of Master, like from beginning
Yeah.
to end. Master of Puppets, yeah, on the drums.
I feel like I could pull off Master.
Great song.
It is a great song.
It's
Now, what
fun.
about you? What about your influences? You've been quiet for the most part.
Directed at me, was that?
Yeah.
Probably less to do with metal from an early age than the rest of the gang. If I had to single out some of my most influential frontmen that I was turned onto by friends or family, Ozzy obviously, Black Sabbath as a whole, since the age of 10 maybe, when I was taking guitar lessons. That's opened a lot of musical doors for me. But two of the biggest players for me in high school were probably AFI, like early career and middle career AFI.
Okay.
Davey Havoc, obviously, and Muse, probably, I would say for sure. Matt Bellamy can do a lot with his voice, and he can do a lot with the guitar. So it's not exactly compatible with our.
No, but Muse is amazing.
But not
And
incompatible.
Muse really
either.
changed, like they.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they're early. I was big into their early stuff too. I liked them for sure. And Black Sabbath, I love Black Sabbath.
Yeah, he doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
But I would say things got progressively doomier and gloomier after high school. So
They always do.
yeah, exactly.
Ain't that the truth?
You get into dark music and relatable stuff. So.
Yeah. And we're writing some more doomier stuff too. Like really expanding what we're doing for sure. And trying to mix all of it and just create something new in the process, right?
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, we're still trying to figure out our exact sound. I mean, obviously we're fast and have a lot of trashy elements, but in a year from now, we might sound a lot different, perhaps. But
yeah, and we're getting a lot faster too. So
yeah,
we'll probably have a lot more
probably always be
like
fast.
push the pace, but also write some more of that doomier stuff. I said ISIS is one of my they're super doomy and atmospheric, right? Like long and drawn out riffs and whatnot. So we'll probably write some stuff like that too. But we'll see where we go.
Yeah, we all have influences of many different kinds.
I think that kind of comes through, and you would be able to attest to this, whether it's true or not, Anthony, in our live show, that there's, listening to certain sections, you definitely get a thrash sort of a vibe. Other sections are more melodic and theatrical, and it's where they overlap that kind of gives us a distinct quality that I think is probably our edge as a band and as an act. It's not something that's never been done before. Obviously, nothing's new, but it's interesting.
But it's kind of new, I think we have a very unique, show, I guess you'd say, show.
Well, I don't think it matters to try and make the newest thing that no one's ever done. Like, you can't make anything completely original. I mean, not that we know of. I don't know. It seems everyone's done everything these days, but it's more about, to me at least, taking your favorite influences and the best things about music you love and putting that into your own stuff. And then when you hear something like that, you're like, oh, they really took this influence and they did a really good job with it. And to me, that's more important than trying to make the newest, trendiest.
Yeah, create the music you want to hear.
Yeah, make what you want to hear yourself.
Yeah, and that's what we are doing. Like, we're really putting our own unique tastes and personality into the music, and we all like the music. That's like of utmost importance to us, that we like this style and that we write what we would listen to and what
It's got to be fun to play. I mean,
and
Well,
push our limits, right? Like just keep you know, like you're saying, like I want to be as good as Gojira in a sense, right? Like just keep pushing, and you know, who knows what we can kind of come up with and what we'll do.
well, and for me, the song Horizon, it just, there's so much blended in there, and there's so much different tones, different textures. It's like a, you know, it's like a artist with his palette, and he's just putting different colors on the painting, you know, like there's so much going on musically and then vocally as well. Like it's just a strong combination of all the elements together. And it's really a strong, solid song.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
That's
Yeah,
I
like
think
that
I
one.
think that out of all the songs we have written, that one took the longest to write. Like from
I can imagine.
yeah.
and it's a tricky. It took us forever to play certain parts. I mean,
Yeah, the transitions are tough, and
Yeah.
yeah, it took a lot of practice
Yeah.
for sure.
And,
But we love that one.
and it
Yeah.
changed a
So
lot.
much
Like
fun.
things
Yeah.
evolved.
Yeah, and Cal adding to the vocals too, like I feel like it really matched the song too. And I kind of had, when I named it Horizon, that was like almost what I kind of saw, and how Cal took like the wave of the song and kind of made it into a story and a backstory, and like, you know, all that mixed together. Yeah, we think it's one of our best songs for sure. We love playing it too.
lyrically, it's really cool as well.
Well, all the lyrics too. I think Cal's like a great writer, and we were super stoked to have him. And yeah, everything we kind of throw at him, all these songs with us with difficult transitions and difficult time signatures and stuff like that. He's really, you know, been able to create a story for each one, or like really get a feeling or a vibe for each one that kind of matches what we were going for when we wrote the song. And so it's been really fun, and I think he's one of the best writers around, so I'm really excited, like because I'm big into literature, and
As
he
a
did
writer yourself.
yeah, and as a writer myself, like I wrote a book too, and I read all the time. I like poetry especially. And
Right.
so just the poetry of each song, I was really stoked on right away when he joined us, for sure. And he's got this amazing, unique voice that you know, you don't hear all the time. So
No, because at the end of Horizon, you almost like sound like you're giving up. Like it's just like, oh God, what have I done? And that high note you hit, and it sounds like you just coming to your last terms of life, almost like you've given up, and
Yeah.
it just I don't know, it resonates. It really hits that mark that I think you guys were going for, and it works.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really conscious of I'm really conscious of choruses, and I don't want anything to ever sound boring. So I don't want to sing things the same just because they're repeated multiple times throughout the song. I want there to be, you know, subtle differences that reflect, you know, the change in a character down the line, going through some sort of experience with every iteration. So I want there to be different ways to look at it, different ways to sing it, different ways to hear it.
and there's like some catchy choruses, and
We try.
There are, yeah.
and yeah, for
Here and
sure.
there.
Oh yeah, and some interesting.
I think we were very lucky when we found
Yeah.
Cal
Yeah,
as our front man, as our singer.
Yeah, I mean, the first time he came out, he just watched us practice, right? Like he just got a feel for us, because we were pretty developed by then. Like we had been practicing a lot,
Right.
and you know, he was just like, "Can I come back and bring something," in a sense, right? Like, and we understood, because it is like, what do? You don't just step in and start singing. But we had a good feeling about him, and so yeah, we had him come back, and he just kind of fit into what we were looking for, and has just been developing since then. Like, this is the first band he's ever been in, so we're pretty stoked to, like, you know, work with him. All of us have been in bands before. We've all played live before, but this is his first band, and so we're just so excited to, like, go through that whole process with him, because he's a really cool guy too. So
Yeah, well, I talked to him for a good portion after the show. We hung out in the parking lot and we chewed the fat for a while, and yeah, I got to know him. You're all pretty cool guys from what I know. And getting to meet you all tonight, you know, it's
and Rob's really cool too.
Yeah, Rob's cool.
Yeah, he's
when
a
he's
cool
around,
guy.
he's cool.
It's just too bad he's not here, but
Yeah.
it's okay. He had some work stuff.
well, maybe next time we can do it live and in person if things improve a little.
Oh,
Yeah,
hopefully,
after a gig would be fun, or before, or something like that, you know, like
Mhm.
Yeah,
for
side
Usually
stage
finding
would be
people don't
just-
want to do it before because they don't want to they don't want to drain that energy before they get on stage, right?
But I was gonna say, like, before our, you know, we didn't even have a sound check at the Wolf. Like, we
Oh,
just
yeah, we winged it.
we
Really?
just went in there. Yeah, no sound check. And you know, we were all kind of
This
walking around. Like, I was out and about and saying hi to people and stuff like that. And I wasn't warming up when I, you know, I should have been, but that was the vibe of the show, right? Like, it wasn't you know, it'd be different if we were playing for a huge crowd and stuff. I'd be warming up in the back, like, you know, yeah, don't talk to me kind of thing, right? But but for this one, it was more about, you know, mingling and seeing it, people. And, you know, this is, for a lot of people, this was the first live show in, you know, since before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised by the turnout. I didn't expect people not being able to get in, and
Yeah.
there was
me
a
neither.
little party outside. It looked like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Parking lot.
Yeah,
was
so you
cool.
listened from outside for a bit, Anthony. How was the sound out there?
Oh, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool because I was like, oh, it's already sold out, and Doug's like, no, we're only allowed 50 people capacity. He goes, is this the overflow? I'm like, hey, this is good for the bands. They're getting more people to hear them, so this is
Yeah,
all-
exactly. Yeah, I moved my truck so that, like, I blocked the two spots in the front to have more room to, like, have a better spot to listen, and you could even kind of see the stage from there too,
Yeah,
right? Because yeah, we were just excited for people to come out, and we wanted them to hear what they could, but we also understood that there were, you know, it was capacity. What do you do? But
I know the last big show I covered was 2016. I got to cover the Slayer, their last tour. I got to interview Ted Aguilar downstairs at 2:00 in the afternoon. As I was leaving the green room, so to speak, lead singer of Anthrax was downstairs, and I was like maybe 10 feet away from him, but he looked like he wasn't in a good mood. So I'm like, I'm not going to talk to him. And then as we're walking out of the building, I realized Slayer was upstairs doing their sound check at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like, dude, this is all happening. Like, you know, Death Angel, Anthrax right there, and then Slayer's doing their sound check.
Wild.
yeah, that's a good time.
yeah, I didn't mention Anthrax before, but yeah, I liked Anthrax a lot too.
Oh yeah, especially the song Indians. I just, yeah, that was such a different style of drumming to come in on a thrash song.
Oh man, such a wicked drummer too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Anthrax. They're a lot more sort of upbeat too, and they're good to, like, do stuff to, like, any kind of music like that. You can do stuff with their stuff in the background, and
And I'm trying to, like,
puts
get
you in a
up to
good
that
mood.
speed too, you know, like, and that's, you know, we
And
kind of have
fast.
an Anthrax vibe. We're pushing the pace. We're trying to get to that speed almost, in a sense, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little bit.
in terms of our vibe, I mean, we're not like a death
No,
metal band or
no,
anything like that,
no.
but
No.
although we take some influence, but we want to, you know, bring people up. We don't want to be downers, so everyone can use some positivity, it seems,
That's right.
these days.
Yeah, and we try to, you know, Cal's writing is very positive too, and we feel like our music is it's got that positivity kind of vibe to it, not the depressing type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we have a grim message to sell, we're gonna do it in a high energy way.
That's a
Yeah.
good way.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, that's kind of an Alice Cooper-esque kind of response, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, personal hero of mine. I think I don't remember how old I was. 12 or something. Saw a very small venue show in Armstrong, BC, of Alice's. It's extremely cool. Left a mark for sure.
That is cool.
Something to see.
Yeah, I've seen Alice live once, and he puts on a hell of a show.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, he always does. Still does the guillotine and all that crazy
Yeah.
stuff. Which
Considering people
I mean-
wanted him banned back in the day because they said, "Oh, he cuts off the heads of babies and on stage and
Yeah.
kills himself on
Yeah.
stage," and it's just,
Where can I get a
there's just-
ticket?
yeah, you know,
that'd be
Yeah, that is kind of scary, right? Like,
back in the
but that's
day,
cool. Yeah, it's exactly. It's
Just saying,
exciting.
if there was no Alice Cooper, there would have been no Kiss
no,
or Marilyn Manson.
Oh, he was like a godfather of
Um,
shock rock. I mean,
Maybe the whole like
Yeah, what else though? Like even the other like subgenres and stuff.
yeah.
You know, grunge. You could even say almost.
yeah, I mean, what do you even do to shock people these days musically? What can
Well,
you do?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we're working on a show of some sorts. Like,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to be a band that has a stage show.
yeah,
We
Stage show.
we do. Like
yeah,
We don't want to bite off more than we can chew with our first outings.
no,
Prop wise.
and we don't know how things will develop,
yeah.
but we definitely that's the
Yeah, we
direction we
discussed
want to
it,
go.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, we want to put on a good show and,
And-
like yeah,
and
theater.
just only because it'll be fun. That's that's the reasoning behind it.
I mean, I have like a vision of almost like high school drama class in a sense. Like not like that, but you know, like actors and like a story behind it. But that, you know, we're not sure where we want to go with anything yet, but
yeah,
we've got ideas to make some kind of show for
Mhm.
sure. And we're working on that with our personas in a sense too, like what are our characters gonna mean and
Yeah,
that kind of
I
thing.
think things will evolve a lot over the next little bit.
yeah. So first and foremost has been the music. We've been
yeah,
trying to just make do a
Yes.
good performance and so you know I felt fine wearing a mask in a sense. I know I can do it again, so like who knows what the next costume will be. So for me, I get super hot, right? Like so I wasn't wearing a shirt when I was playing,
no,
and so that would be the difficult thing with some other type of costume would be okay, how hot am I going to get, how that kind of thing, but we'll see.
then if you have
Always
a
going to be a
stage
skeleton.
setting, you got the full stage lights coming down on you, you're going to be that much hotter, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just push through it and
Yeah.
like just get drenched. But I, you know, I'm already drenched after the second song, so
Right.
I've learned to adjust and hold on to that stick, and you know,
Yeah, you have the hardest job, that's for sure.
well,
I mean, you have to be an athlete to a degree to play drums like that. I mean,
yeah, you
it's
say
a
it's
lot
the
of work.
hardest job, but I think like you know, you have the hardest job or something like that. Because oh man, I've tried guitar, I just can't really do it. I'm a drummer.
I don't know. We've seen this guy step out of practice in the winter and just a
Yeah.
pillar of steam coming
Yeah, a
off
pillar
him.
of steam in winter for sure. I'll go out in the snow in my bare feet. I play in my bare feet too.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I've thought about the idea of playing naked, right? But I don't know how that would go over.
Doing the whole
But-
thing.
Trying to hit the wolf next time.
Yeah, but you know, even maybe like a loincloth or something that could be part of my character in some sense. Who knows, right? There's lots of ideas, but the less clothes, the better. I find for playing.
Yeah.
For me, anyways. And I don't wear shoes or socks, so.
Yeah, I think I'll keep my pants on myself. To each their own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll lose the shirt though. I mean, put some
Yeah,
body paint on or
yeah,
something
things like that. And talk about a good stage show was the judges last week. Like they're all up in costume and they've got a stenographer and
I saw that 'cause they shared some of the footage on their Facebook page. And
yeah, they're a really cool band. And
yeah,
they've got such a fun vibe too. Like they're called the judges, and all their songs are like about the courtroom in a sense, and they're just so much fun. And I actually was very excited on their new album coming out. I did some of the gang vocals with them because we practiced at the same studio,
oh,
and so we were just hanging out one night after our practice, and they were in the middle of recording their new album, and they were like, "Can you sing?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, like, can you scream a bit?" I'm like, "Sure, right? Like I can, oi, oi, oi," like things like that, right? And so he's like, "Oh, come, we need you," and so I did a couple songs with them, which was very fun. And yeah, they've just got such a fun vibe, and so like I saw what I was singing along to, and it's just such fun tunes in a sense, like and their show is very fun. For
great.
sure.
all the costumes and the gavel with it's just fun to see.
Mhm.
Entertaining.
I had a podium set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had the gavel, right? And he was hitting along too, and they've got a great drummer. Like
By the end of the show too, the
Yeah.
podium was just
tatters,
boards with nails sticking out of them. I mean,
Yeah, they were great.
Okay, guys, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, thanks for doing
Yeah.
this with us.
Yeah, this was fun.
awesome.
I mean,
Not a problem.
First
My
time.
pleasure.
keep a close eye on our social media. We're trying to
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
pick up
and
as many gigs as
we
can.
definitely like to try and play in Edmonton. So let us know about that.
Sure, I'll
Well,
send when I get this up on my YouTube. I'll send you guys this, and then I'll send you a link to the
Cool.
Canadian Extreme Metal Radio.
Cool.
I think that'd be awesome. So
That'd be fun.
we definitely like to try and be a part of that.
we want to play. Well, at this point, anywhere we will play.
Yeah, but we will play
But,
anywhere.
Yeah, we just find it fun. We'll play
Yeah.
anywhere, really. So hopefully
I'm sure
hopefully shows keep going and we can play, even if it's for limited crowds. Like we don't care. We want to play.
We'll do your birthday party.
we'll do birthday parties for sure.
Weddings or mitzvahs.
There you go. Well, you could do the Lamb of God, right? When they did
Yeah.
what was that song?
Right.
They
Yeah,
crashed the
man.
birthday party,
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
stepping through the kids' waiting pool.
That's a classic.
That was one of the first like music videos that ever struck me.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
Lamb of God.
Redneck.
I want
yeah.
to cover Omerta too.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think just thanks for
Yeah,
asking us to do this.
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun.
Hopefully you get to see us live again at some point soon. And you
That'd
know,
be
Sure you will.
cooler than I can. Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. We'll get back to practicing, I guess.
Yeah, all right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thanks,
Anthony.
guys.
Have a good one, Anthony.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Best.
Thanks.